hello, folks, to those who get to see hello, folks, to those who get to see this footage from inside Clover Hill. Now we are now at the 24th of January, 2024, at approximately 2:35, 2:40 on a Wednesday on a Wednesday evening. As of yesterday, I still have Maddie, this solicitor whom John Alcock and Ray Moss and Breed and Mihal and others are aware of now, there's no visit has been booked on the system. It's quite clear that basically any of these solicitors can have a visit within within a few hours if they really want that. And on a more general basis, 24 hours, 48 hours, just like a walk-in visit for any member of the public who's on a visitors list. On this recording, I'd like to touch on the G-Stock involvement here, and then an update re courts. So I basically come back to G-Stock. The incident happened in Foley's. John Alcock goes to G-Stock, he makes a report. G-Stock then come to the jail on the 22nd of November 2022 and interview me in relation to what has gone on. Now, in that interview, they took loads of information and notes in relation to Monaghan and Dublin. I told them about Inspector Noel Cunningham telling lies in court in Virginia on the 26th of August 2016, which led me to being put into Castlereagh jail. And he told the court that all issues in relation to property ownership have been sorted out at High Court level. This was a complete lie at the time, and it turned my life upside down. It then left me pulled into the criminal system at a high level, and the cutting of a lock into 10,000 of charge sheets to suit Seamus McEnany and Kieran Martin and the rest of the clique at the time. And then I explained about how we'd made a complaint to G-Stock in 2019 via the Mr. Deary and Co. company, and that Adrian Fitzpatrick's had signed off on that information, and they had also received multiple emails through the Mr. Deary at gmail.com or Gmail account. I also told them about the Mr. Deary & Co. Facebook pages, the Feargal Deary Facebook pages, the Robbie and the Iron Bar video that there's over 50,000 views on that. I told them about my other negative experiences of the Monaghan Gardaí over the years in relation to how they had covered up the fraud, about me making complaints and then being overlooked. They told me that they would be able to go straight to the Justice Minister with all this information. They told me they'd be able to uncover all the documentation. They told me they'd be able to get the access to the phone and the briefcase and all that information. And they told me they'd come back up to the jail. That was the 22nd of November, 2022. At 2:30 on a Thursday evening. Jared Keenan was the main investigator, and others are aware of his name and his position at this stage. They then started to basically ignore everything in Monaghan and walk away from what had happened in Dublin. And at this stage, they have just disappeared. Just like this is so sad to see that people will walk away from the truth in such circumstances. Had they done their job, I would not be sitting here. But they have point blank refused to do their job. I asked Maddie to get a Freedom of Information pack from them, which would have shown all the information they were given. And that has not come to light either. Now, G-Stock are, in my mind, no longer fit for purpose, and all they will do in many circumstances, is cover up for corrupt Gardaí unfortunately. Now, I suppose to move forward then from I suppose a bit of an up-to-date on the legal perspective. So, and I may have touched on this previously, that Maddie came up here a couple of times prior the 18th of November. On the 18th of November, she brought a barrister with her called David Nugent. They both came in. They were to go off and chase up G-Stock, all the G-Stock stuff. They were write to the Banty solicitor, Tony Donaher and Carrickmacross, as to what was going on in Monaghan. They were to chase up the senior counsel whom had sent that draft document into the jail. I showed it on the last video. That senior counsel's name, I got it to hand here. It's not jumping out at me, but we'll go. While I'm looking for it, I'll go back to Maddie. So Maddie arrives up here on the 18th, as I said. They were on the 18th. They were going to look for various documents. They were going to get all the statements in relation to what had gone on in Monaghan. There was 10 guards and 5 security fellas. I told them to talk to, if they wanted witness statements, Shane McLaughlin and Mr. T, the taxi man, had seen what went on that morning. So that was grand. Then we proceeded into the CC. Then on the last Tuesday in November, I'm told that I have a legal visit. Then I'm told that there's something to do about signing an affidavit. So I go down for this legal visit, and on a Tuesday, the last Tuesday in November, and who's sitting at the table? Only Tracy Horn. Now, the woman should not have been there. She had been sacked 6 months previous, but I had my counsel. I stood up. I wouldn't even sit down with her. She's not a very nice person when you're dealing with, when you're not suiting her agenda. She asked me who the new solicitor was. I told her she was a coloured lady. I couldn't think of her name. She went by the name Maddie. I didn't know her full name. And that she had come up with a barrister called David Nugent. She said she knew this barrister, David Nugent. She told me there was court the next day. I said, that's the first I've heard of it. We're due the following Wednesday on the 6th of December. I went into court the following day. She wasn't even there. She had sent some of her juniors. They stood up. They said they were on record for me, and they had emails to prove this. And I said nothing. They said they knew nothing of who the new legal team were. That was a lie. Then the judge asked me what the position was. I told the judge that these people had been trusted, broken down 6 months previous. And the judge, one time mentioned, that's enough, Mr. Deary. I don't need to know any more. And I think Mary Teeling was in court on that particular day. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it was the Friday she was in court. So we went back into court on the Friday. There was no sign of Maddie, no sign of David Nugent. We were then back into court with all the co-accused on the Monday. The judge was trying to force through a trial on the Wednesday. No one had been given. Barristers had only come on record on the Monday and the Tuesday, the 5th, 4th, and the 5th of December. So how do you go for a trial on a Wednesday, the 6th? It was so farcical, it's unbelievable. But the best people now to ask about all that would be Mary Teeling, John, and Paddy and Ray, whom were in the court to see the shenanigans that went on. This finished on Friday, the 8th of November, the 8th of December. Again, the judge was trying to push through a trial without any proper disclosures. It was, no sign of my briefcase, no sign of my phone. None of the legal teams were standing up asking for this information, and it was key to our defence. So thankfully, John Alcock had the good sense that morning to sidestep proceedings and make him. He became unavailable from health reasons, and legitimate health reasons. At that, given what has gone on. So I have only 1 minute left here. So that brings us into Monaghan Court then on the 12th of December. Monaghan Court, I think we're going to run out of time here. Monaghan Court was on the 15th of January. That was another farcical experience, as I had not had any contact from these legal people between the 8th of December and the 15th of January. Now, have we got 5 minutes left or 1 minute left? One.
30 seconds.
So, on that morning, I was on video link to Monaghan. I had no phone call, no contact with any legal team before court. They asked me, there was some legal person got up and said, Mr. Deary's here to make a plea. And I said, hold on here, Judge, I'm not here to do anything. I have not given any instruction to anybody. I've had no contact with any legal person from the 8th of December. I've not.
No, thank you, folks. We left off there at Maddie and where things were at from a legal perspective. So on the 14th, 13th, on the 11th of January, I had a video call with Feargal and Breed, and we discussed Maddie, and we discussed the fact that she hadn't been here for a visit from the 2nd of December. I brought them up to speed on what had happened in the courts, in the CCJ, in relation to up until the 8th of December, and how farcical the whole thing had been, and it had ended with 5 barristers standing, looking at a judge, not asking for the information in the briefcase, not asking for the phone, not asking for time to look at paperwork that had been handed to them on the Friday morning by Stephen Kerr in the CCJ, not asking for all the files that Feargal has, which are directly connected, given that the equipment out of Master Dairies has made its way to Foley's, and so has the intellectual property made its way to Foley's. Then I suppose on the back of that, Feargal made a call to Maddie, and Feargal then spoke to Maddie on the 12th of January, and Maddie informed Feargal that she was going to have someone in Monaghan Court for me on Monday the 15th of January 2024. She told Feargal to tell me to make a plea, and we get a date for a hearing on the matter, and that she was having difficulty getting a visit in Cloverhill. So at that stage, John Alcock had been also looking for Maddie over the course of the previous 3 weeks, and had not heard from the lady at the time. So I was left going on to a video link from Cloverhill Jail to Monaghan Court on Monday the 15th of January, without having spoken to any legal representative. I went on to the video link. The judge wasn't in the court, so I was left sitting for 5 to 10 minutes. There was no call from any legal person prior to that court starting, which would be normally the case, that the legal person would make contact with you on the phone in the jail here. So I went on to the screen, and someone stood up and said, "Mr. Deary's here to make a plea." I said, I'm not here to make any plea. I haven't seen a legal person from the 8th of December in the CCJ. I haven't spoken to anyone on these matters from the 18th of November 2023. David Nugent, a barrister, and Maddie came up to the jail. We discussed various things. They were going to write to Seamus McEnany's solicitor. They were going to speak to the barrister who was mentioned in connection with the civil stuff, and everything's connected. And so I went on to the screen, and I told the judge that I wasn't in a position to make any plea today, that I hadn't seen any legal team, I hadn't spoken to anyone, that the guards had not provided any discovery in this matter, I hadn't seen any paperwork in relation with this matter, and that this was I told the judge on the door. I said, look at the Gardaí Monaghan have been covering up multi-million euro fraud to suit Seamus McEnany here now from 2015. And Adrian Dorkin and Sergeant Donald Bay are now at the cold face of these shenanigans. So, and there's no point in me giving me moving anything forward until I've sat down and discussed this with the legal team. So the judge said, Mr. Deere, then the barrister wanted me produced on the 5th of February. And I says, look at Your Honour, there's no point in producing me anywhere. I says, until I've sat down with the solicitor. And he then told me, he says, right, Mr. Deere, we'll put you in for the 12th of February. And I says, he says, that's the maximum I can go, 4 weeks. So I says, that's fine. I says, we'll go for the 12th of February and see where we're at that stage. So as it stands now, I believe Maddie has a visit booked for tomorrow. I'll have to see how that goes now when she comes in, and we'll have to just take it now step by step. So hopefully this short video now will update those at the cold face of this now, the co-accused, and me, Albraid, and a few others that will see this to start with, and we can hopefully now bring matters all to a head. And I'm told that Seamus McEnany was in the paper for getting 23 million in payments for holding refugees for the first 6 months of last year. And this entire thing now he's built himself up for a big fall, just like Paula Venables and the post office in England, if anyone has seen that, because this type of corruption and skullduggery can't be allowed to continue. So that's where we're at. Like, and even here's a letter that I wrote to David Barneville, the president of the High Court, in relation to what Tony Donoghue and Kieran Martin and Vanti have been at, and that I would. There's the letter that went out to David. He's the president of the High Court, and he replied to this letter. But David Barneville, president of the High Court. I would like to bring to your attention the enclosed legal correspondence received by myself and Clover Hill over the past few months. And this was sent on the 6th of the 2nd, 23. Also, I have enclosed a copy of the letter sent to Simon Harris and others, including G-Stock and Tracy Horn and Company. Next paragraph.
You have less than a minute left.
The evidence speaks for itself. Tony Donoghue and others have been trying to acquire fraudulent orders from the High Court in relation to Martha Dairies and the Junction. There's been no full hearing, and they have avoided one from 2016. As the full facts they couldn't face. Last paragraph. In the interest of fair play, I would ask if you could put a stop to this farce until such time as the full facts can be aired. I await your prompt reply. Respectfully, Feargal Deere. Now, David Barneville, basically, I have a reply that I can I'll bring to the table the next time round. But you know, all these people are just hiding in the bushes now, just like what went on in England and with the post office, with the auditors, with many members of government, and a number of members of government are fully aware of what's going on here. So, look, at one way or another, the facts will come out, and the truth will have its day now.